So before I completely forget why I did what, I want to go over all the songs that I played at my wedding last weekend. And if you saw the gig log, you'll know that it was a gay wedding. Now, some people may say, don't call them gay weddings, call them same-sex marriages or whatever. Well, I call these events what my clients call them. And this time, my clients called it a gay wedding, so we're going with gay wedding. This video is going to be part of our Tuesday DJ Gig Tip series, which is brought to you by Vibo, the music planning app. A couple things I want to mention before we get into this list. They had a lot of requests, and I'm going to list all of the requests that they made, that they submitted to me, in the description of this video on YouTube. So you can have a look at that. One thing I will say is that I played a lot of the requests. However, I didn't play all of them. I varied because I took audience requests and I also just played some things because it felt right. Because that's what you do as a DJ, right? So, without further ado, I'm going to skip all of the stuff that I played for dinner and cocktails because it's not really that important. I will tell you that they wanted music from the Netflix series Bridgerton, which is primarily things like Vitamin String Quartet. They also wanted some Frank Sinatra and some Glenn Miller stuff, which is kind of all the same, really. I mean, technically, it's not Glenn Miller, but it's close enough big band stuff when you just play Frank Sinatra. Anyway, so we kick off the evening with two mother-son dances. There was no first dance, just two mother-son dances. First one was Simple Man Acoustic by Rhett Walker Band. And then the next mother-son dance was My Wish by Rascal Flatts. After that, I did What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong as an open dance song for everyone to kind of join in. And it went over really well. I did Pharrell's Happy. That's a big one that I do just to kind of get the dance floor going because it kind of sounds throwback and it's familiar and people know it. It's got a good beat. I know I do it a lot. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, but I really haven't found a better, just cold open song than that. It's a good one. Follow that up with Uptown Funk. Of course, that's Mark Ronson with Bruno Mars. I did Fireball by Pitbull. And then I switched it over to Country Girl, Shake It For Me by Luke Bryan, because I wanted country as well. You'll see that if you look into the description of this video and look at their requests. And they all did pretty well. From there, I did Cupid Shuffle, which went over really good. A big request they had was I Want to Dance With Somebody by Whitney Houston. And you know what? It didn't do as well as I wanted it to. I was really hoping that one would be bigger. I may have worn them out with Cupid Shuffle and they just needed to go get a drink or something, but it was 119 people at the event, by the way. So it was a huge party. And yeah, we did my best. So because that song was so lackluster, I did another slow song. So I did Wonderful Tonight, Eric Clapton, which filled the floor. Slow dances were really big at this event. I haven't played this many slow sets at any event for a very long time, but they were huge at this particular event. A lot of couples. And then I followed that up with Shania Twain, You're Still the One. Again, big hit. Believe by Cher. It was a request that they had. And it went over really well. Super Freaky Girl, Nicki Minaj, did good. Push It, Salt and Pepa, did really well. It's Tricky, Run DMC. It did okay, but not as well as I wanted it to. I do believe they requested that one. You'll see that in the description. And because it was kind of like dying, I guess, at that point I felt like, I went back to country. I did Shania Twain, Any Man of Mine. And it went over well. Followed that up with, by request, WAP, WAP, Cardi B. I know a lot of people say, well, I never played that at a wedding. Look, you learn something new every day. Sometimes you gotta go with it. Because of what this wedding was, I was whatever, fine. I don't care. I'm not the moral cop on this stuff. I'm not. Some people are. I am just not. I'll do what they want me to do. Play the clean version, but played it. I Got a Feeling, Black Eyed Peas did very well. That was a request. from an audience member. Gonna Make You Sweat, CNC Music Factory. I picked that one. It just felt right, and it did okay. I followed that up with Starships, Nicki Minaj, that did really well. But it was dying off toward the end, so I did Lone Star Amazed. Just thought it would be an appropriate song to play. Now, while I was playing that, someone requested Chris DeBro, Lady in Red, as a slow song, so I threw that on. And they were very appreciative of that. Everybody, Black Box, played that next. That was a request, and I was really disappointed with that one. It didn't go over as big as I thought it would. Everybody, Backstreet Boys. It did okay. The big request they had, like the number one request that they had, because I had them list like 12 songs that were the must-play songs for the night. The number one on their list was Big Energy Latto. It didn't do anything. I actually liked the song, but yeah, it bombed. Followed that up with On the Floor, Jennifer Lopez. Did okay, but not great. Then I got a request for Redneck's Cotton Eye Joe. I thought, what the hell, let's go ahead and play it. And that did really well. Then I followed that up with We Found Love, Rihanna. That was a good one. Billie Jean, Michael Jackson. It didn't do too well. I just decided that I was going to play Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner. And that woke some people up. The reason I played it is because one of their other big requests was Ram Jam Black Betty. And I wanted something to kind of build up to that, so I did Leonard Skinner first. Then I got a request for Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline, which did really well. Also got a request for Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me. Macarena was requested. Baby Got Back was requested. All these songs did well, by the way. Sexy and I Know It, LMFAO. I just played it because it felt right, and it went over really well. Was happy with the way that one was received. From there, I did Low, Flowrider. Again, something I just thought would be fun to play. Did well. By request, no, this one wasn't by request. I did Yeah by Usher, but the request was Lil Jon and the East Side Boys Get Low. So I did Yeah as a song to build up to Get Low, and both of those went over very well. I went ahead and threw Hot in Here on there by Nelly. Did good. This was a request, and I couldn't figure out where to put it in the evening, because, I don't know, it didn't feel like a great banger to me, but it's Brothers Osbourne with It Ain't My Fault. And apparently there was an aunt there or something, and that's like her favorite song, and she lost her mind to it. And everybody else was kind of rallying around the aunt, and the song actually did incredibly well. A song I thought was going to be a nothing song was a request from the client, and it did incredibly well. So, again, you probably never have played I'll never play the song again. But I played it by request. It had a special meaning. It Ain't My Fault. Brothers Osbourne did really well. So that's country. So I went ahead and just threw on Honky Donk Badonk, Trace Atkins. It did fine. Got a request for something Elvis. And so I went ahead and did Can't Help Falling in Love. Banger, slow set for this. Big audience came out for it. In fact, so big that I couldn't just stop with one. So I followed that up with Crazy Patsy Cline. Again, did very well. I had a request for Bob Singer, Shame on the Moon, and I thought, how about Old Time Rock and Roll? Yeah, I like that one. Play that one. So I played Old Time Rock and Roll. Shame on the Moon, come on, that's, no. But Old Time Rock and Roll worked really well. Really, really well. And I was rotating different groups of people out, friends, family, and then family from both sides. It wasn't just the same group all night long. Although some people, were really out there, for the whole night. But most of the people out there, I was rotating in and out. Let's see, where did I go from there? Oh, Staying Alive Bee Gees. That was a request. It did really well. I don't know what got into me, but I did Casey the Sunshine Band, I'm Your Boogeyman. It didn't do too well. That was my call, and I don't know. You can take a risk here and there. It didn't go over as well as I thought it would go over. It felt right. It felt like it's close to Halloween. It's a disco song. They're a little cooler than your average crowd. It didn't work. The request for Fergalicious came in. I played that. Somebody requested Young MC Bust a Move. I played that. They also requested Tootsie Roll. You know, Tootsie Roll didn't go over as well as I think the requester thought it would. Did okay. I did Party in the USA, Miley Cyrus. Did okay. Wanna Be Spice Girls actually did a little better. Madonna Vogue went over very well. Just Dance Lady Gaga did well. Good as Hell Lizzo did okay. Let's see, where was I? Oh, and I had someone request this song several times, and I was reluctant to play because I kind of knew it was going to bomb. Prince, You Got the Look. I went ahead and played it just to shut him up, and it did nothing. Just, you know, her and her girlfriend were out there to it. But it was a song they really wanted, so I played it for them. But it wasn't for the greater good, if you know what I mean. It didn't bring anybody else out besides them. I Love Rock and Roll, Joan Jett. Just try to save things. Brought a few people out. You Shook Me Out Long, AC/DC. Brought more people out. Living Out a Prayer. Bon Jovi. Even more. Body Rockers. I Like the Way You Move. I like that song. If you guys aren't playing it, I really like that one. It works pretty good. Then I did Icona Pop, I Love It, which was very successful. Levitating Dua Lipa. I do the rapless edit on that. It did well. And I did the Kygo, Higher Love. That was a request that they had put in. Man, I was disappointed. I thought it would do better than that. I had dancers for it, but I thought it would really be better, you know? Let's see, what else? Okay, yeah, Cold Heart, Elton John, Dua Lipa. Very little. There were some people out there who really liked it, but it didn't bring a lot of other people out, if you know what I mean. A small group liked it, nobody else did. I did Firework, Katy Perry. That was okay. Be My Lover, Bouche. It was a request they had. Didn't do great. And I noticed that there was some families sticking around that liked country. So I did She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy. And people did come out for that. Holiday, Madonna. It did alright. But it wasn't a big banger. So I went into yet another slow set. Going out by request was Mariah Carey, We Belong Together. Did that one. And then I did Luke Combs' Beautiful Crazy, which is more the country slow dance stuff. Went over fine. Came into that with Bruno Mars 24K Magic. A big one was Gimme Gimme Gimme, ABBA. They had on the request list, and you'll see in the description, they either wanted to hear that or Madonna's Hung Up. I went ahead and went with the ABBA, and it went over incredibly well. One of the grooms loved that song. Born This Way, Lady Gaga did pretty good. If I Could Turn Back Time, Cher did really well. Break My Soul, Beyonce did okay. It did okay. And I went ahead and threw this one on one more time. Daft Punk, which probably was a bad idea. It didn't do much. Like a G6 was a request. Far East Movement did well. I picked this one. I went with it, and it did well, which is Eric Pritz, whatever you want to call him. The Call on Me song. You know that one? It did well. Satisfaction, Benny Benassi, did well. Shake It Off, Taylor Swift. And I ended the night, and I don't know why I did this. I picked the song, and it did fine. Was, I don't know how you say it in German, but it's Ozone, the Numa Numa song. I hadn't played it in a long time, but it just felt right, you know, following it up with things like Call on Me and Satisfaction. I was going to play Taylor Swift for the last song. I thought, no, I'll play the Numa Numa song for the last song. And it went fine. So that was it. And, you know, just because this happened to be a gay wedding and this was what I played and it worked, it doesn't mean that it's going to work at a gay wedding or a same-sex wedding that you do, because they're all different. They're all weddings, just like any other wedding. Some of the stuff in here is kind of stereotypically, you know, thought of as, you know, gay anthems, like the Cher stuff, Lady Gaga stuff, some of the Elton John, some of the ABBA, but it doesn't mean it's going to be well received by every gay audience that you have or every gay client that you have. I've done same-sex weddings and gay weddings where there was really none of that. You know, it was just kind of like a regular wedding, the regular stuff that you play. I've done them where the stuff does well and it's requested. So, you know, just because it's same-sex or gay or whatever doesn't mean that these songs are going to particularly work. And some of these songs that didn't work may work well at other events. Who knows? But anyway, that's my playlist. So I can go ahead and clear this or save it or whatever I want to do with it. But I'm done with it. I don't think about it anymore. And look at the description to see what they asked for and kind of compare it to what I was talking about. I worked really hard to make sure that the client's personality was part of the evening. So I played a lot of songs off of their request list. Not all of them. And I also worked in requests and even picked a few songs. Some I did well with, some I didn't. But you know what? It's all about taking chances, I think. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get this video up. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos. Actually got some cool stuff coming up later on this week. Electric Voice is sending the new speaker over, so we should have that by Friday. Also want to talk about maybe some lighting ideas for those of you who are in challenging situations with outdoor events, because it's came up and I've got some cool solutions I want to share with you. Hint, they're behind me. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.